juice boxes, y'all. Jump in. See those juice boxes, y'all. Hit that plus sign if you were on the show. See those juice boxes, y'all. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. You guys can find us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. We are here to have candid discussions and cut through those stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking that link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about the price of peace. But this week, we're going to talk about the topic, getting intimate with intimacy. We have an all-star cast, y'all. We have Big Rambo, not the little one, and we have CJ Slab God. So let's find out how the panel feels about intimacy. But please, stick around till the very end. We will need the audience's help later in the show, so do not go anywhere. But before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, I'm going to let the guest, if they are here, in the box, and then we will get started. Well, we got Face here too. And we have Face joining the show. Thank you, Jesus. Holy. Yes, Lord. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Jen, what up?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, y'all, to the Red Room. I appreciate y'all for pulling up and making it here on time. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and let CJ introduce himself, and then we'll go over to Mr. Face here. And when Rambo makes his way in here, we'll let him also introduce himself.
My name is CJ. I've been on the app for a couple of years, and just like to turn up on here, have fun, have a good conversation. So, look forward to doing this show. Jen's a big friend.
What's going on? I go by phase. Just recently got into the whole DJ thing. It's been about a year now. I've been on the app for 3 years. I've experienced dating someone off the app. Didn't quite go too good, but other than that, life is good.
Here we are. I am Jen and Juice. I am the host of this show right here, right now. I'm very much female, if you can't tell. But also, if you don't find me on Saturdays, you guys can find me late nights into early mornings. And very soon here, we are bringing the show Jenny Springer. So I'm going to need y'all in the comments. Jenny. Yeah, so that was coming very soon. So make sure y'all check out for that. And then we have some other things that I got up my sleeve coming soon to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started at this point, y'all. Intimacy is the deep connection between two individuals that involves vulnerability, trust, and emotional closeness. It is the ability to share thoughts, feelings, and experiences with another person in a safe and understanding environment. Intimacy can be physical, emotional, and or spiritual. It is an essential component of healthy relationships. It requires open communication, empathy, and a willingness to truly know and be known by another person. So the first question is simply, what is intimacy to you?
So I mean, of course you have your definitions, but for me, like intimacy, especially when dealing with a partner, it's me being able to be myself, like in entirety. So being able to be the goofy, charismatic individual when I'm alone, having the comfortability to be able to talk to you about any and everything, whether it's a stupid question that crosses my mind, or just serious thoughts that I have pertaining to my past, the present, the future. Things that pretty much make me feel comfortable in a sense that you are my person and that there is nothing outside of you that I would ever deem more important.
I agree with that. I'm gonna piggyback off of what he said. I think being able to be yourself in a relationship is like I won't say the utmost highest things, but it's one of those top tier items that you definitely need in a relationship. Personally, for me, if you can't be yourself, then you don't need to be with that person. My aunt always used to say that there's always somebody that will deal with your amount of craziness. And so you have to find that person that will deal with your amount of craziness. And when I say craziness, I don't mean literally mentally, but being who you are. Because everybody may seem crazy to someone, but to the right person, they'll seem like that right person, that right amount of crazy. So.
Intimacy to me is it's more than just a deep emotional connection, but it's like feeling comfortable with somebody, sharing your innermost thoughts, your feelings, your desires. I think it's like feeling seen and understood and accepted by someone else, and being able to like have vulnerable and like be vulnerable and authentic in their presence, like to be your true self. But it's also trust, empathy, and it's expressed through many different ways, like physical touch, just like affection that could be any multitude of things. But I think it's like a really like sacred bond between you and your partner, because it's more than just what people think of as sex. It could be just the quiet moments where you're sitting there and just enjoying the silence, and even though you're not saying anything, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a talker, so like anytime like I have somebody who's comfortable just sitting with me in silence, whether it's watching TV or just, I'm one of those people where it's like let's say my girl is in school or whatever. me just being in a room or a space with you while you do whatever, I'm completely fine with that. That's probably would be one of my most enjoyable moments.
I agree with that. It's funny you say that. So my parents were exactly like that. My mom, they actually had their own, I guess you could say like a entertainment room. So they have their own TV, everything. But of course, they slept in the same bedroom. But as long as they knew that they were in the same house, they were able to function. She'd come in there, vice versa. He'd come in there every now and then, check on her, see if she all right, or she'd go in there and check on him. So I think that. I think honestly, that's when. How can I say this? I think that you have achieved something that is beyond having to say any words when you're able to just step away from a person knowing, having that connection still, even though y'all may be in separate rooms, y'all can still conversate and still be able to relay things to each other without having to say too much. And that's a part of, I think that's part of intimacy as well. Like, when you get to that point,
look at someone and know, like, they know.
Yeah.
Like, I think how I know when, like, someone's for me is, like, they can just look at me and know what it is I'm feeling. Even if I'm like, I'm okay, like, even on here there's times, and then someone will be like, no, what's wrong? Your person should know, even when you're holding a smile, that something's still wrong, and they can sense it.
No, yeah. That's facts.
That's true. A lot of people put on a nice mask to try and shield themselves from being criticized or things like that because of maybe previous things that they've dealt with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to express that with a person that is understanding and being able to talk to them, then expressing those and then developing that kind of communication where sometimes there's no need for communication. All it is a look, and then boom, you already understand what it is. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's crazy because it's like the way I grew up, silence was we ain't really talk much, like me and my siblings, but there was always an understanding or like this intuition when something was wrong. So it's like for a person to, like, especially if I'm dealing with somebody and then put it like, I'm one who, my friend calls me stoic. Like, my best friend calls me stoic. She says I'm a man's man, like, all the time. And she was like, for some reason, there's always a moment or a certain demeanor or look.
Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. Jump in. See those juice boxes, y'all. Hit that plus sign if you were on the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. You guys can find us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. We are here to have candid discussions and cut through those stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking that link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about the price of peace. But this week, we're going to talk about the topic, getting intimate with intimacy. We have an all-star cast, y'all. We have Big Rambo, not the little one, and we have CJ Slabgod. So let's find out how the panel feels about intimacy. But please stick around till the very end. We will need the audience's help later in the show, so do not go anywhere. But before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, I'm going to let the guests, if they are here, in the box, and then we will get started. Well, we got Face here too. And we have Face joining the show. Thank you, Jesus. Holy. Yes, Lord. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Jen, what up?
Hello. Hello,
What's up?
everybody. Welcome, y'all, to the Red Room. I appreciate y'all for pulling up and making it here on time. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and let CJ introduce himself, and then we'll go over to Mr. Face here. And when Rambo makes his way in here, we'll let him also introduce himself.
My name is CJ. I've been on the app for a couple of years and just like to turn up on here, have fun, have a good conversation. So look forward to doing this show. Jen's a big friend.
What's going on? I go by Face. Just recently got into the whole DJ thing. It's been about a year now. I've been on the app for 3 years. I've experienced dating someone off the app. Didn't quite go too good, but other than that, life is good.
Here we are. I am Jen and Juice. I am the host of this show right here, right now. I'm very much female, if you can't tell. But also, if you don't find me on Saturdays, you guys can find me late nights into early mornings. And very soon here, we are bringing the show Jenny Springer. So I'm going to need y'all in the comments. Jenny. Yeah, so that was coming very soon. So make sure y'all check out for that. And then we have some other things that I got up my sleeve coming soon to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started at this point, y'all. Intimacy is the deep connection between two individuals that involves vulnerability, trust, and emotional closeness. It is the ability to share thoughts, feelings, and experiences with another person in a safe and understanding environment. Intimacy can be physical, emotional, and or spiritual. It is an essential component of healthy relationships. It requires open communication, empathy, and a willingness to truly know and be known by another person. So the first question is simply, what is intimacy to you?
So I mean, of course you have your definitions, but for me, like intimacy, especially when dealing with a partner, it's me being able to be myself, like in entirety. So being able to be the goofy, charismatic individual when I'm alone, having the comfortability to be able to talk to you about any and everything, whether it's a stupid question that crosses my mind, or just serious thoughts that I have pertaining to my past, the present, the future. Things that pretty much make me feel comfortable in a sense that you are my person and that there is nothing outside of you that I would ever deem more important.
I agree with that. I don't piggyback off of what he said. I think being able to be yourself in a relationship is like I won't say the utmost highest things, but it's one of those top tier items that you definitely need in a relationship. Personally, for me, if you can't be yourself, then you don't need to be with that person. My aunt always used to say that there's always somebody that will deal with your amount of craziness. And so you have to find that person that will deal with your amount of craziness. And when I say craziness, I don't mean literally mentally, but being who you are. Because everybody may seem crazy to someone, but to the right person, they'll seem like that right person, that right amount of crazy. So
Intimacy to me is it's more than just a deep emotional connection, but it's like feeling comfortable with somebody, sharing your innermost thoughts, your feelings, your desires. I think it's like feeling seen and understood and accepted by someone else, and being able to like have vulnerable and like be vulnerable and authentic in their presence, like to be your true self. But it's also trust, empathy, and it's expressed through many different ways, like physical touch, just like affection that could be any multitude of things. But I think it's like a really like sacred bond between you and your partner, because it's more than just what people think of as sex. It could be just the quiet moments where you're sitting there and just enjoying the silence, and even though you're not saying anything, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, I'm big on that.
yeah,
I'm not much of a talker, so like anytime like I have somebody who's comfortable just sitting with me in silence, whether it's watching TV or just I'm one of those people where it's like let's say my girl is in school or whatever. Me just being in a room or a space with you while you do whatever, I'm completely fine with that. That's probably would be one of my most enjoyable moments.
I agree with that. It's funny you say that. So my parents were exactly like that. My mom, they actually had their own, I guess you could say like entertainment room. So they have their own TV, everything. But of course, they slept in the same bedroom. But as long as they knew that they were in the same house, they were able to function. She'd come in there, vice versa. He'd come in there every now and then, check on her, see if she all right, or she'd go in there and check on him. So I think that. I think honestly, that's when. How can I say this? I think that you have achieved something that is beyond having to say any words when you're able to just step away from a person, knowing, you know, having that connection still, even though y'all may be in separate rooms, y'all can still conversate and still be able to relay things to each other without having to say too much. And that's a part of, I think that's part of intimacy as well. Like,
Yeah, you could
when you
just
get to that point,
look at someone and know, like they know.
yeah,
Like I think how I know when like someone's for me is like they can just look at me and know what it is I'm feeling. Even if I'm like, I'm okay, like, even on here there's times, and then someone will be like, no, what's wrong? Your person should know, even when you're holding a smile, that something's still wrong, and they can sense it.
No,
yeah,
that's facts.
that's true. A lot of people put on a nice mask to try and shield themselves from being criticized or things like that because of maybe previous things that they've dealt with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to express that with a person that is understanding and being able to talk to them and expressing those and then developing that kind of communication where sometimes there's no need for communication. All it is a look, and then boom, you already understand what it is. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's crazy because it's like the way I grew up. Silence was we didn't really talk much, like me and my siblings, but there was always an understanding or like this intuition when something was wrong. So it's like for a person to like, especially if I'm dealing with somebody, and then put it like I'm one who my my friend calls me stoic. Like, my best friend calls me stoic. She says I'm a man's man, like, all the time. But she was like, for some reason, there's always a moment or a certain demeanor or look that I have where she'll look at me and be like, yeah, today's not a good day for you. Like, something's wrong. Or just my movements and how I carry myself throughout the day. There are certain people in my life that just look at me and be like, yeah, no, that's not, something ain't right with you.
Mm-hmm. And let's not even say just this, but it's not even just a relationship thing, intimacy. Intimacy could be between mother and child. It could be between best friends. It can be, you can have intimate moments. Obviously, you're not going to have physical intimacy with your mother. Please, God, I hope not.
Yeah, we need to go down that road.
We're not going down that road. But, you know, like, it could be, like, just them vulnerable moments with your best friend where you're pouring your heart out to each other and having a heart-to-heart conversation, or, you know, even just, like, the moment of, a woman's wedding day and her mother is putting the veil on her and they're having that moment before, or, you know.
Facts.
I think that's definitely possible, especially with friends. It's kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's kind of obvious that it would be between, hopefully, it would be between mother and child, or son and child, or, father and child. But when it comes to friends, yeah, most definitely you can develop those moments when, you know, sometimes, you know, you can go to them and speak to them about a lot of different things that you may not be able to speak to people that you've known longer than them. But, you know, it's definitely, you can develop a relationship like that, most definitely, especially friends-wise.
Well, if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. We have so much more to come, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Red Room Talk, y'all. We just discussed what is intimacy to you, but now I want to talk about the digital age. In the digital age, intimacy has taken a new form with the rise of social media and online communication. Couples can now share their lives with each other through text messages, video calls, and social media posts, creating a sense of closeness even when physically apart. However, this constant connectivity can lead to a blurring of boundaries and intimacy being superficially portrayed online. It is important for individuals to prioritize face-to-face interactions and genuine emotional connections to maintain true intimacy in the digital age. So the question is, how do you maintain intimacy and connection in a digital age where face-to-face interactions can be limited?
I said the same thing, bro.
Because I'm like, with stuff like that, and it's crazy because, like, I literally just got off work, and, like, me and my coworkers were talking, and at 36, I remember, like, being younger, and social media not really being a thing. Like, of course, once we hit, like, 18, 19, you have Facebook, which is more so for the college kids, but I remember picking up a phone, calling a girlfriend. She not home. Call her later, or she returned the phone call because parents was like, "Oh, your boyfriend called." Da 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 da. And having those moments where it meant something. Nowadays, with like social media and Instagram and Facebook and self-validation, it's people have become spoiled and almost feel entitled to it. For example, like people who feel as though they should be blasted throughout social media by their significant other. I'm nobody's entertainment. I can care less if you post me. Yeah. What the outside world views of me and your relationship are irrelevant, and they mean nothing to me. What me means more to me is a person feeling comfort, feeling at home, feeling like they have someone they can rely on. And trying to do that in this day and age, especially coming from a time period where I didn't have a cell phone and I didn't talk to my girlfriend all day, every day, half the time I'd be annoyed when people text and call my phone. Like, if it wasn't for my children, I probably wouldn't have a cell phone. I don't want to talk to people 16 hours out of the day. I don't want to sit and text you from the time I get up until I go to sleep. I want to actually have the time and space and opportunity to miss you. Mm-hmm. I think with social media, we don't really get to miss our partner. So it elevates the irritation. It elevates the separation. It elevates the need to be alone at times, because you don't get in this day and age of social media, you don't get a time to process your feelings or emotions, because the minute somebody's mad, there's a post here, there's a post here, there's subliminal shots here, and it's like there's songs that's played on stories, and it's like, bro, just go
like,
shut up, sit in the like, bro, just go shut up, sit in the corner and figure it out, and call me or pull up when it's time to have a conversation.
For Rambo, who's just pulling up, the question was, how do you maintain intimacy and connection in a digital age where face-to-face interactions can be limited? Go ahead. Go ahead, CJ.
It's funny you say that. What you said, DJ. There was only. I'm 36 as well, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Growing up, we didn't have cell phones. The closest thing I ever got to a cell phone was MySpace. And you can only put certain stuff on there. You only have a top 5, top 10 friends, or top 8, whatever it was. I didn't get a cell phone until I got to high school, and I had to pay for it. My dad looked at me like, buying you no cell phone? You don't pay for that yourself? What you need a cell phone for? You go to school, you come home. You go to work, you come home. Well, what else you need a cell phone for? Oh, I need it. Mm-mm. So, electronically, like you said, a lot of people feel entitled a lot, a whole lot. And it's crazy because I look at the generation now that's going through, it's kind of like a cycle, except it's just new things added every 10 years. It's a new cycle. They recycle everything, but it's something new added to it. So everybody feels entitled to oh yeah, I should be getting this, I should be getting that, da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, you it's all a facade. Like what you see on social media, like it's all a facade. Like you don't know what that person really going through. They could be going through the same exact thing you're going through, but they just putting it out into the street for entertainment purposes. So me personally, I'd rather be able to give a person my time, being able to physically see them. FaceTime is cool. Everybody works. Everybody travels for work. Everybody does things to where it puts them in a situation where they can't always be around people. But when you space that time out and you give that time to that person, I think that means that's more intimate than anything, like being actually physically there for them. And a phone call, like I said, FaceTime phone call, we have these different avenues, but primarily being around people, we got to think about it. When we was growing up, what we used to have all the time? Family reunions. We ain't had no Zoom face call meeting with our family members. We went and saw them. We drove an hour and a half, 2 hours, or took a flight. You got your t-shirt with your name on the back and your last name, so they knew who you was, what family you was from, all that good stuff. So now it's too easy to misconstrue what should be the actual definition of intimacy with this electronic world. So I think, like I said, time is my biggest thing. Being physically around someone. I think that's how you can really show that.
But you got to remember, some people, especially here, I like talking about on the app, like are in long distance relationships too. So that's kind of something they have to rely on. So what do
Yeah,
you?
it's. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's understandable. I've done that before. Um, it is tough, but whenever you do something like that, your communication has to be top tier.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be on your P's and Q's, and you can't make excuses. Like if you really want to see someone or be around someone, you will make time to go and visit them physically. It's
Mm-hmm.
cool, like I said, FaceTime is cool. Over the internet is cool, seeing each other. But to be around someone, that's when you truly get to know them. So I think I forgot the saying that the old folks used to say, well, before me. They used to say something about um, absence of something
Makes
makes
the
the
heart
heart.
grow fonder.
That that's still prevalent to this day. Yeah, you can have long distance relationships. Yeah, I understand that. That's completely fine. I've done them, but making that time to go and see them, that shouldn't even be an excuse, especially if you have the opportunity.
Right.
So,
Big Rambo.
And I'm gonna be right back. I gotta plug my car up.
Yeah.
So.
Rambo.
All right, say it again.
How do you maintain intimacy and connection in a digital age where face to face interactions can be limited with such things like long distance relationships and
I
such?
mean, yeah, man, I feel like pretty much they both pretty much was touching base. They were pretty much touch bases on it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, of course, you have to be in the presence of somebody to, you know what I'm saying, for it to really, you know what I'm saying, really connect with this person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, calls and, you know what I'm saying, even just going to visit a person is cool, but majority of the time, you know what I'm saying, you have to spend that quality time together, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting to learn this person, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't really be intimate with a person if you don't really know them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I feel like, and like you were saying, I feel like social media, like the internet world, try to make us believe this is what a relationship's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And really, we have to stop basing our relationship based off of, like you said, songs, what other people going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of time we sit back and look at our own relationship like, damn, I'm going through the same thing. What if they doing this to me? What if they, you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of puts a blockage up in situations where if you just took time and let all that go and, stop, living every day base to base, just, spending all your time with TV, with phones, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, but I really let some of here.
I agree with that.
So for me, I'm gonna be honest. I embrace, especially if you're in a long distance relationship. I think it is almost detrimental. Like, yeah, of course, the first thing you're gonna want to do is plan some at some point to meet. But I honestly love that in the beginning you have to not have the physical part, because I think so many people jump into the physical, you miss out on the greatest, most beautiful parts of me or whoever. So I
Yeah.
feel like honestly, that's a beautiful thing because you can get to know me in deeper ways
Me
than you
too.
probably would in my presence, because honestly, sometimes it's easier to open up and tell you things across a phone than in your face. Now, I'm not saying that once I'm there and I'm in your physical presence that I wouldn't be comfortable, but I think sometimes it is easier to express things that could be scary, you know. So, what was you gonna say?
Me.
Yeah, I can see it.
Um, so I was gonna say that's very true because a lot of people, not just here. even just in general, like a lot of people, they see someone, they like, I hate to use this term, but they automatically want to have sex with that person just from physical look instead of, like you said, getting to know a person. Instead, they just like, oh yeah, she fine. I want to knock that down. Things like that. It happens because sadly, that's what social media has trained us to look at. They post everything, not just men, or I'm sorry, not just women, but also men as well. They objectify men and women on social media platforms. So when we see stuff like that, we like, man, she bad. We scrolling on Instagram, she bad. Da 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 da. Man, I like knock her down. Instead of really getting to know the person beforehand, and then that point will come. That's gonna be a given. If you're attracted to somebody mentally or emotionally, or whatever it may be, of course you're gonna be attracted to them physically. Then that's just gonna be the plus on top of it. So a lot of people they don't do that now, and
Well,
it's sad.
I look at it like this. Okay, so yeah, a woman can be physically attractive, a man can be physically attractive. But what else do you have besides physical attractions? Because you think you can go down there and pay your bills with physical attractions? No. You think you can survive on physical attractions? No. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you might get paid on, you know what I'm saying, social media because you look good. Okay, now everybody following you, liking your status, everybody doing this. But at the end of the day, when your ass get older and that shit starts to fade away, now what hustle do you have? You don't have them because now you done let social media put you in a one-dimensional frame where you thought this was your hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh, I look good. All I need to do is post a picture. You know what I'm saying?
Look faded. What you got?
Yeah. So you don't really have any type of hustle or mental, you know what I'm saying, intelligent about yourself. So your knowledge on the world is gonna be shitless. You know, you ain't gonna be nothing to the world because all you gonna know is social media pictures. You know what I'm saying, or making a post. So I get the beauty is, you know, it's cool, but what else do you have besides that? You know, because you still have to survive. You still have to survive.
And this, I was gonna say, it's some females and some males that do social media. Some of them have found that that's not gonna last, and they made other avenues for themselves to make a living. And so some are smart. They're a sound mind, but like you said, Rambo, it's some that just think that that's just gonna last, and that's gonna get them by. That's gonna get them a husband. That's gonna get them a family. I mean, at that point, you really ain't experienced nothing. You ain't learned nothing in your life.
I just look at it. You can look on social media today, like you'll see one of them posts and they'll be in have a $30,000 Birkin bag with them. You know what I'm saying? But like that's cool. That's fine. That's cool. That look good. But now you done bought this $30,000 Birkin bag, but you about to lose your apartment though. You live in an apartment, or you know what I'm saying, or you don't you rent. I mean, you got a car note. You know what I'm saying? Like that's backwards in life. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be caring about it, or it's empty. You know what I'm saying? Like what? That's senseless. It don't make sense to me.
And that's like in my life. That's why I've never. And I'm not saying I'm an ugly person or the most beautiful, either or. But I never relied on looks for anything. I always knew I had a bigger than life personality, and that's what always attracted. And that's honestly, even the men I chose, even if I chose wrong, Lord. But the reason why I would choose is because they were the ones who didn't just look at me for the physical. Like they actually had got to know the person below the boobs, the person under the tattoos, the person under the eye, like all those things. Yeah, those are purely physical. But what happens when I what if I get cancer and lose my hair? What if by all means something happens and my face gets burnt or something? You just don't know. Like what? Take all that away, would you still love the core of the person that is me?
I mean, we none of that even have to happen though. My whole point is when you get older, physical
Yeah,
attractions fade.
fade.
It fades.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying
Exactly. So
if that's purely physical or purely looks is what you're looking for, you're going to be a sad sap because you're going to be with someone probably really
That's
freaking boring in your old age. Like I want to laugh forever with my partner when I'm old. We're going to be laughing about like,
well,
oh, you
I
look
mean,
at your wrinkles, look at your gray
I
hair and your
mean,
beard right
I
now.
mean,
You
I
know.
agree. I agree. But then again, I say if you're not gonna stick with what you know when you get older and you're just gonna continue to try to go by looks, then you gotta have something to bring to the table. You don't have to be a sugar daddy. You don't have to be a sugar mama. You know what I'm saying? Like some gonna have to give. Like you can't just be old and think you just gonna be getting knocked down. Come on now. Some gonna have to give. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So it's either or. You're gonna either find your soulmate or you're gonna just keep on continuing moving around in relationships. And then, like I said, when you get older, you
that's
gotta be successful because if
that's
not, you're
tough. You gonna get tired after that.
What's funny about the whole physical attraction thing? I had this conversation with my ex-wife, uh, probably a couple months ago. So she said to me, my previous girlfriend, she don't seem like your type. I said, at 36 years old, I don't have a type. My whole thing is what, especially like now that I have children, my whole thing when dealing with women or relationships in general is like, what do you provide or assist me with in my life? Like, are my children somebody who can look to you for some type of an example? Can my daughter learn lessons from you that her mom may not think of in the moment? There's so many different intangibles. Whereas though, yes, of course, there has to be some type of physical attraction, but for the most part, it's like if I look at you, if you sit across from me, is the person I'm looking at speaking back to me in ways in which words cannot explain or define or provide something for me in my life the same way as I would you. So it's like the whole physical attraction thing. It's like I've now gotten to a point where it's like I personally don't put too much stock in it. Like my ex-wife is 6'1", I'm 5'9". My last girlfriend was 5'5". Like at this point in time, it's like, yo, we about to get ugly in like 20, 30 years. So I
She
don't.
might shrink.
Yeah,
Hey now, listen, not too much on us short folks, okay?
hold up. So the
Cause
physical attraction is different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? What you find physically attractive, I might not find physically attractive. What
Yeah, of
CJ
course.
finds physically attractive. So it's based off the person. You know, oh my God. So why I have to get the balls? That's crazy.
That man was in the middle of his sentence.
Yeah. Nanny, yo, shout out to Nanny in this building, y'all. She just threw balls in my face. What the fuck is wrong with Nanny, y'all?
Like
But you know,
even what you saying, like everybody has different. I'll put it to you like this.
hold up.
My ex-wife is 6'1", slim fit. My last girlfriend was 5'5", a little chubby. Girlfriend before that, BBW. Like I'm just, I don't know. I've never been. I've always, the way my mom raised me was always to look deeper than what you see outside. And on top of being raised in church, granted, I'm not a saint. I never pretend to be. There's just certain things I've always looked for in people that precede the physical attraction. Yes, I have to have some type of physical attraction, but for the most part, you can be a midget or you can be as tall as Lisa Leslie. I don't care.
What about Brittany Griner?
Hold on. Before we go too far, y'all, we have so many more questions, y'all. I gotta cut you off at some point. But Brittany Griner, that's one talk. Yeah.
What about a midget though?
Well,
Maybe big.
Okay,
Maybe big. We
Well,
just
I'm sick and tired of y'all right now, okay? So,
go ahead.
no, I'm just kidding. I had more to say, but y'all, if you were just pulling up, that's okay. Y'all, this is the Red Room Talk. You can find us every Saturday. You gotta say it that way. It don't count. Can I hear y'all Saturday? Have y'all done your tongue ups? Oh, don't be scared now.
What happened?
Saturday.
Wow.
You gotta say it with that way. It does not count.
Sad.
I can't. I don't got
Wow. Okay, listen. Y'all need to do your tongue ups and come back again, okay? So anyway, y'all, we just discussed
I
what
don't
is
practice that now.
intimacy to you, and then how do you keep intimacy within the digital age. But y'all, it is now time. When you hear that sound, that means we are a hot seat question segment. Our hot seat question is left up to the fate of the audience. That's right. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to hear for this week's hot seat question. If you want your question to be featured in next week's episode, make sure you go to my profile, click that icon, wash your hands first, and follow me on Instagram and look out for that hot seat question post. But now is the time I need y'all to enter into the comments who on the panel you want to answer tonight's hot seat question. So go ahead and enter in those comments right now. Not now, but right now.
I see question.
Wow.
And don't be shy, y'all. Okay, listen, I know y'all are out there. Okay, what's what we're doing now?
Anybody?
Because I'll
Nobody?
pick if I have to at this point.
Who? Wash your hands first. No bum bumps.
Well, we got one. This shows how many of y'all pay attention. All right. Well, guess what? We're all gonna have to answer it then at this point. Okay.
Dang.
So, this week's hot seat question is: have you ever experienced a sense of longing or yearning for deeper intimacy with someone? And what is the intimacy that you expect from your partner? What is like one thing that you expect from your partner? So,
Yeah. This relationship dead and gone. Ain't never coming back. But there was an individual that I did date off of here. And just long story short, won't be going back to it. But I used to want to learn her more, but she would never open up. And that's how I knew that she wouldn't open up fully about everything. And it wasn't that I tried to force her to open up and learn, for me to learn everything about her, so that way I knew how to treat her. It was just that she was, what's the backup word for like? She was on her hot girl stuff.
Oh man.
And so she wanted to live that life. She didn't know what she wanted. So I washed my hands of it. Like Jen said, wash your hands. I washed my hands of it. So, if anything, I wanted her to know, or what I want my partner to know now, is that I'm fully understanding. As long as we can have a conversation about whatever it may be, I'm a very understanding person. I've told Jen this before, that when my mother passed, a lot of that thought process really magnified with being understanding, because at that point, everybody has this point in their life, they realize their life is too short to hold grudges if someone passes that they truly love. And my mother was like my best friend. So after that happened, I try my best to understand everything possible, and I just try to just keep it 1,000 at all points. I don't have to. We're on this earth on borrowed time, and it takes too long to hold a grudge. Like, you gonna die being angry, being mad, or however you may go. We don't know how any of us are gonna go, but like I said, we on borrowed time. We don't have. Life is too short to be angry all the time and to be sitting here lying and deceiving other people. Like, just be 1,000% with people. At the end of the day, like, Ain't no other way to be. It takes too much energy to keep up with a lie that you didn't told, or to keep up with a facade that you're trying to put on to get people to like you, or to fool people into doing stuff for you. It just takes too much. It takes too much. It's too much energy and time. You put that time into building something real and moving forward and having a relationship with somebody for 30, 40 years before y'all both pass away. So,
So just to elaborate a little bit on what you're saying, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I would go with communication and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like to understand the woman more. You know what I'm saying? Because as men, we all think we understand and we know, but I don't think we really take out the time to really try to get to understand the woman. You know what I'm saying? Because every woman is different. So you, the things you need, your needs is gonna be different than the next woman needs. So I think we go into relationships basing it off our last relationship where we can't always do that. Now I think my like the next relationship, I mean, I want her to be able to help me understand her. You know what I'm saying? Not let me come walking in thinking I know her. Help me understand what I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? So I think understanding and that communicating, help me, be a better communicator with her. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it all gonna come back to understanding who you're dealing with. So
For me, I think the thing that I craved more, or yeah, the thing that I crave more than anything was probably space. Um, it kind of goes back to our original, the first question, like when it came to social media or it came to calling, texting, or things like that. I'm an introvert for the most part. I have a bunch of friends, but I find my most productive, my most self-reliant, self-sufficient time in being able to process emotions, feelings, ideas when I'm alone. And sometimes within relationships, especially and I'm not gonna make this a man or woman thing, but a lot of times in relationships, people forget to look at individuals as individuals. And what I mean by that is, oftentimes women are looked at for what they can provide a man and are solely held to those standards, and men are looked at as what they can provide them and are looked at to those standards to the point where we don't look at the person and say, who are you? What does what does love look like for you? How do I express love that you can receive? How do I make that choice to be what it is that you need? And for me, like I said again, the biggest thing was space, because it allowed me the time and opportunity to miss you, to miss the conversations, to miss the jokes, and just that the time of laughter. Because yes, granted, time is not guaranteed, tomorrow is not promised, but when you smother somebody with love and affection, it can at times be too much. And
it boils back down to understanding each other.
no, facts, and it definitely goes back to that point. And I think that's probably like the thing I crave most in relationships in this day and age. Because with these phones, people feel like, yo, I know you got your phone in your hand 24/7. You supposed to answer every phone call. You supposed to answer every text message, so forth and so on. And I'm gonna tell you flat out, I will screen phone calls and text messages until I'm ready to have a conversation, especially if I've already told you I don't have the time to talk right now.
So, um, I've definitely experienced a sense of longing for deeper intimacy with someone, especially for me. I think it was in the sense of feeling like safe and secure. Because I'm going to tell you, if I ever come to you and I express something, especially like a need in intimacy or just anything, like I have to, express something and be vulnerable with you. If I'm ever vulnerable with you and you make me feel unheard or like I can't come to you, I will never come to you again. I will keep it inside, and it will eventually, it will be over. At that point, I'll be like, I'm already gone, but I'm here. Because I feel like that is like something for me, to feel safe and secure with somebody. That is honestly probably the greatest gift you can give me, to be able to not have to be super woman all the time and just be woman, to just be in a relationship without having the extra feelings of anything else. Like, you should just be able to be and be vulnerable, be able to be vulnerable with you. I should be able to come to you if I don't care if it's, oh my god, this happened today, and whatever, even if I'm being obnoxious and you tell me I'm being obnoxious, but I should be able to come to you with whatever it is. Well, Jessica at work did this and whatever, I should be able to come to you, and for the deep things, like, you know what, today actually I'm having a really bad day because it's the anniversary of this, or today this, and to know that you're going to be able to look at me with just a glance and like know whatever the weight of my world is, that you're going to be there, and that I can feel safe and secure in telling you whatever it is. But what I expect from my partner, I think just understanding and getting to know what it is that I need from you. Whether it's not just physical intimacy, because I'm going to tell you what I need in that aspect too. But I mean, I'm going to tell you what it is I need, sir. But I mean, I expect my partner to learn my love language. How it is that I need to be loved, because how I love, I'm gonna learn what it is that you need to be loved, what it is that you need to feel from me to feel loved. And I might even ask you the question, and I'm gonna tell you at some point in a relationship I will do this, and probably often. But instead of saying I love you, I'm gonna say, do you feel loved by me? And but that's a question that do you feel loved? Because
So what you saying here, so what you saying, and what we saying, can we come to an understanding or agreement that just being human, we have to become better at understanding one another?
oh,
You know what
for
I'm
sure. I
saying?
think that the biggest distance between two
A
people is
lot,
misunderstanding.
but a lot of times we all think it's based off all men just don't care, or
No.
men don't
No,
have.
by all
A
means,
lot
no.
of
It's
times, I'm
both.
saying a lot of times, but I'm saying it's just because we are both misunderstood,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we have to come to a better understanding of understanding
for
each other.
sure. I will
Yeah.
never say that it's one side or the other. Especially me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably more of a guy's girl than a girl's girl, and the reason being, yes, I am a woman, but I grew up with all brothers, and I was basically mostly raised by my father.
I get it. We
So
human though.
like, you know what I'm saying, and
We
I will
all
never
know
be a man
it's
bashing
human.
type woman, but I understand that men also have feelings and needs and all those things. So that's why I said I would also want to learn what my partner's love language is, so I can love them properly. So, that's one thing I expect in an intimate way. And I'm not talking about just physical, but also physically. I'm going to tell you what my needs are. And you're either going to step up and meet those, or sit down so the man who really wants me can.
Be like, hasta la vista. No, I was gonna say two things. One, going back to what Faye said.
Mm.
He said that having space. So I thought about something. So I know I don't now these days in this generation, not our generation, but this generation, everybody's going out and getting money. Everybody, man, woman, whatever you choose to be, um, they all choose. They all go out and get money in some type of way. They're all about their money. But at the home, like how you were saying, face space is needed because back in our time, my dad he went to work, my mom would work, And that was the time to where you could, you know, be individualized. Hey, my name is such and such at my job. My name is such and such at my job. And then it gives you time to be apart from each other these days, or now, or back then. I'm sorry, back then. But now these days, some they'll go out and work, some they won't work, and a lot of them think like that goes back to the first question, feeling entitled. They're entitled. Well, you the man, you should be doing all of this, pay that 100% of this, 100% of that. Cool, it's cool to pay bills and all that good stuff, but at the same time, you know, that's I'm not gonna want to come home because now I just came from work and I had a whole bunch of people nagging me at work. Now I got to come home to possibly you nagging me even more because yeah, like it just that bothers me so much because it's like at the end of the day we are all, no matter whether we are man or woman, we are all human beings and we all have emotions, we all have needs, whether it be physical, emotionally, mentally.
Well, a
It
person
does
that's
not.
good on their hand is the person that's gonna be nagging you like that. A person
Yeah,
that's actually doing something, like you said, how your mama went to work, your daddy went to work. They didn't have time to come home and nag. When they got home, it was time to embrace each other. It was like they
facts.
missed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went all day without. You know what I'm saying? But now like as go back to like you saying with cell phones now these days, it's like every 5 minutes, every break you get, call me. Like I
No.
mean, I can't have a
I
moment to
can't.
myself if I get a
Can
break.
I say
Well,
something? Can I just interject for 2 seconds? Because I hear a lot
Go
of
ahead.
men talk right now because I'm the only woman here. But do you know what? We're at home with the kids yelling that they want a sandwich and then they want another sandwich 5 minutes later. And then now they just broke their toy and you got to fix it. And then they need something for school that they were supposed to have 2 weeks ago, but now they need it right now. So just remember, sirs, that we had
Well,
some stressful
I
nagging
just
going
had
on at
John over here.
home with the children. While y'all is
hey,
getting Jessica
Hold,
and
hold,
Brittany and Bethany and Brenda
So,
at work, we
hold
got
on, hold on.
our kids at home nagging. Okay.
See,
real quick
see,
though.
see. Not go ahead, Sky. Cause she was about boy.
Real,
We want
real
to what,
quick.
get on my head?
Cause,
No, no, no. But
oh,
listen, you
listen,
got from
listen.
both ends. Space is definitely
I,
needed. It's
you getting
healthy.
the hole, Joe.
It's
This is
healthy, but just
crazy.
know you while you're at work getting nagged, and even if I'm a stay at home mom, I'm getting nagged at home because they needed Lunchable. Now I'm
So
looking for
listen,
pizza,
right?
and now
Then,
my sandwich crust isn't cut off, and now I need, you know what I'm saying?
so listen, right to that point, right? And this is why. This is one of the reasons why I
Make a
hate
short story short.
the. This is one of the reasons why I hate the 50-50 conversation, right? In essence, because
Hold on. So what do you mean when you say 50-50? What does that
I
mean?
don't believe in
so
that
listen,
anyways.
right? Regardless, it's two people coming together as one. I hate the whole analogy because when you look at the analogy in itself,
Oh, so you hold on. So you saying like what you bring to the table?
yeah, anything. So like she mentioned the
Okay,
whole being a
okay.
stay-at-home mom and nagging, right?
Mhm.
And when you look at that, that's the expectation when a man is going out paying all the bills. That's 50% of the relationship in some people's eyes. The issue I have with that, and I think the reason why that causes so many issues in relationships is because me personally, and dealing with my most recent relationship, it kind of went south because of long distance. But for the most part, there were always conversations. There was, hey, I'm not at 100%. I'm at like 70. So
Mm-hmm.
can you pick up to 30? All right, cool. I got you. I think what happens when people hear 50-50, they think and you start running down a list of responsibilities is where people lose sight of the simple fact that we're two different entities coming together as one.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's 50-50 or 100-100, it still equals out to a whole number where two individuals have to share responsibilities in order to make a relationship healthy and work. And at some point in time, when you're dealing with people, whether it's the nagging wife or the always working husband, there should be times and moments where you check in with each other and say, hey, listen, I don't have the energy for the kids today. They've been burning me out. Can you handle schoolwork, bath time? I'll worry about dinner, etc., etc.
Of course.
And we go from there. So it's like the whole 50-50, even 70-30, 100-100. At the end of the day, a relationship is a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to pick up each other's slack when somebody is falling short somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you're unable to do that, then my personal opinion, you shouldn't be in a relationship, because every day I'm not going to feel like doing everything that's on my list of responsibilities. Some days these kids
it's
is
supposed to be. That's how I really, like you saying. That's how it's supposed to be. You wash my hand, I wash your hand. Both hands wash the face. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's always supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we get off because we trying to base life off of everybody else
instead of
what
what works
social
for
media
you.
says is gold.
Yes.
So
Like I said,
I actually hold the same idealistic, and I've always said I do not believe relationships are 50-50. It's whatever it is your needs are for that day, or whatever it is your partner's needs is in that moment. I feel like it should at some point, like it's kind of like a puzzle piece, like that balancing beam, right? Like a Libra, you got the two weights there, and right, and whatever it is that I lack, you have, you know what I'm saying? So for me, whatever it might be that day, it might be what you have to pick up. Like today,
But
I
see,
need
when
just
you
a me day. I
connecting
need
with a
to
person,
say it
but
again.
see, when you connecting with a person, you don't have to tell that person that.
No, they
'cause
know. They should know.
They don't know. Yeah, they
But
don't know.
but in the case that they don't, you still should voice it, because not everybody's a mind reader either. Because sometimes, for me, I'm gonna be honest, when there's moments where I'm going through something, I might just get quiet. But you'll notice something in the air for sure. But it's either up to you, or for me to just come to you and be comfortable enough to tell you. I should be able to be comfortable enough to tell you, like, you know what, babe, like, I'm just having a really hard day today. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
Without
what I'm
you,
saying.
you should
But
know. But
that's what I was just saying. But see, like majority of the time, if I know you, if you're my woman, I know how your energy is. So when you come in, I'm gonna already know if something bothering you. You know what I'm saying? And you all right? You know what I'm saying? And that word goes to, no, I'm okay. Just it was just bam, now.
but it's your and this is where too I think women need to understand, this is your moment to not just say I'm okay. Not even just women, it could be a man too. If you know something's off and he says I'm okay, that's your moment to dig deeper, because and to be honest when someone says are you okay, or hey, I just need a moment, and I can be more open with what I'm feeling at this moment. I just need a moment to feel what I'm feeling, and then we can have a conversation. But I think so many of us, and I'm me myself, I've been in that moment into a relationship, because we just kind of touched on that earlier. But where if I get to a point where I'm shut down and I can't come to you, I might just say I'm okay, I'm fine. And I might just hit, and not really say anything. But if I'm comfortable with you, I'm just gonna just tell you off the grip. But I think a lot of people get into those modes where, like, I'm okay modes. And we do it with people around us too, not just in a relationship, but to dig deeper, when you know that something's not right. There's times I'll be even on here and I'm smiling and laughing, and CJ or Roxy or somebody might be like in the background, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, dang it. Like, how did you know I was smiling and laughing? And,
because
your people know you.
It's too clear. Like, I don't know about everybody else's situation, how they was raised, but I had my parents, but I was raised by 3 aunts. I had my grandmother. They taught me a lot, so I'm very good at deciphering and understanding feelings, and not just women, but just understanding feelings. Like, even my homies, my homeboys that I hang out with, I'm like, "What's wrong, bro? I see something bother me. What's good?" You got to check on people, because no matter male, female, no matter what you are, you got to check on people, because it's necessary. It's completely necessary,
Like,
no matter who you may be.
I think what has happened in this day and age, and the reason why it's such a struggle, is because people experiences have hardened them to the point where it's almost the fear of opening up supersedes the comfortability they might have if they deal with their issues. For example, men, like we're raised to be tough. We're raised to not cry, not show emotions, to not do these things. And because we're raised that way, women hear that, and it's like if a man does this, he comes off as weak. So what ends up happening is we enter these
we also
relationships.
know that they don't be misled in life to believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what happens is we enter these relationships, and the moments where she asks if we're okay, and it's like there's this mountain of things that's on my shoulders. Like, yo, my job is this ex-wife is doing this. I got child support payments coming up, and this, that, and the third. And it's like you want to be vulnerable. You want to speak on these things. You want to cry. You want to just at times like melt in your lady arms. But some of us have experiences where we deal with women, and it's like, oh, stop acting like a stop. Why are you always complaining, and why you this and why you that? And it's like, bro, wait, what? Like at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I have these things, regardless of how I was, regardless of who told me to act this way or how to carry myself. There's things that are just within human nature that if I'm connected with the real me, the honest me, the person who I am when I'm alone, I have to be able to express these things to the person that I want to walk through life with. And 9 times out of 10, we attach ourselves to too many people who
don't mean it's no good.
Don't mean it's no good, or remain stuck in a cycle of conditioning that the world portrays was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
If the world, let me piggyback. I feel you, but if the world don't give you those examples of what you're supposed to be, where the experience and the learned behavior come from. So, for example, if the world didn't tell you say it with your chest or toughen up or you don't need to be, you know, don't be soft, you wouldn't be the man you are today. I'm not saying that would kind of change your perception, but it does. It makes you a manly man. It makes you a man, a ambitious man, a virtuous man, a man who want to go get it. You don't want to just sit back. So some of the things and some of the affirmations that we get from this life is good for us. It's up to us to make these decisions of how we move in this life. Like so for example, I was listening to what y'all was saying. It's like a lot of the times people get caught up in relationships. They don't get caught up in building. Once you build. So, for example, if I'm building, I'm trying to understand Jen, trying to understand me. I don't have to say, hey, can you pick up the slack this week? I see, damn, she been bust her ass all week long. Let me run this some backboard. It's the small things that make something big. You know what I'm saying? That's how relationships build. That's how people be in love. That's how we be looking like, dad, they just going on trips. They always smiling. They just having fun because it ain't nothing that you're supposed to tell somebody when you love them or when you care about them or even when you're trying to build. Like you said, you were like, oh, this the one I want to be with. You gonna try to build with that. And every situation, in every instance, you can't build with everybody, but you just can't lay down with everybody. So if you laying down with them, especially if you laying down with them wrong, you building. We have unprotected sex. We're building, so it shouldn't be no blockage in that, because if it ain't no blockage if we have unprotected sex, it shouldn't be no blockage in me understanding you had a long day. It shouldn't be no blockage of me looking at your body language or me seeing you huffing and puffing or me just looking at how you moving. And it's vice versa for the man as well. So building is working towards a relationship. People just want to jump straight into a relationship. People just want to jump straight into having sex. People just want to jump straight into without understanding who they are first and what they want to build with a person. We got to learn how to, what you want, that's that's what you attract. So you know you want to go on trips, you know you want to hang out, you know you want to eat this type of meat, you know you want to go wherever you want to do. That's the circle that you're gonna be in, and that's how you have to build. That's what I learned. But a lot of times we be so selfish because we just want what we want, and we seen some on Instagram, or we seen Rambo over here doing, or we seen Slab God, or we seen Tag, or we seen, you know what I'm saying, Face. Oh man, they look like they doing, and then you get over there and you be confused, you be mixed up because you don't know what they got going on. You don't even know the ingredients of how they built what they got. So we got to learn how to build first. Once you learn how to build first, you gonna be around here smiling and eating crackers.
But that's
Love y'all.
But that's why I always say the saying before we do have to move on to the next question after I say this. But that's why I always say to know me is to love me, and that's why I'm gonna tell you, because I remember in a time when I was getting into a relationship, so many dudes were mad, but I'm gonna tell you why. The difference was, so many of y'all could look at me physically and think that you knew me, but I'm gonna tell you that my physical being is not the most beautiful part of me, and if you think that, then you really don't know me, and that's why you will lose every time. So get your game up. But anyway, if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. Y'all, this is Red Room Talking. You guys can meet us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just discussed what intimacy do you, how do you maintain intimacy and connection in a digital age. But now I want to talk about non-physical intimacy. Non-physical intimacy can be shown to strengthen emotional connections, trust, and communication between individuals. It also allows for deeper understanding and empathy, fostering a sense of closeness and intimacy. Non-physical gestures such as listening, verbal affirmation, acts of kindness can go a long way in building a strong and healthy relationship. This type of intimacy can also create a sense of emotional security and support, leading to enhanced overall well-being and satisfaction in relationships. So with that being said, the question is, do you believe that non-physical intimacy is equally or more important than physical intimacy in a relationship? Why or why not?
I think it's more. I think it's more important than the physical, and it kind of plays into like what Tag was saying. Like to get to that point, I understand where he was coming from, but to get to that point, you have to have conversations. Because like with me, conversations are a big thing. Like I may be a unicorn when it comes to this, but I've never been one of those men who can just be on go without some type of mental stimulation.
Confirmation. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I've never been one of those people like dealing with a female where it's like I'm just always on go. At some point in time, there has to be some type of conversation, communication, because I don't believe that everybody or anybody I deal with should have access to me, and I shouldn't be able to have access to you without certain things being prevalent. So like with intimacy for me, which is most important, that's non-physical, is definitely communication. Because like even in knowing my partner, they can come to me or I can come to them and vent. But even in me venting, you may know in one particular situation, I may need a solution or I may need an idea. But what about that time where I don't need you to say anything? I just need you to sit there and listen. Or that
maybe
time
express that in expressing yourself, to say, hey, I just need to say what I need to say right now. I don't need any, because I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it is okay to just say it just like that. Like, I don't need any advice right now. I need to just get this out and like let me just hear me out, babe.
Yeah, so like communication for me has always been like the best form of intimacy, because that you communicate with me, you'll get so much more out of me than you could imagine.
Rambo.
I think you gotta love. I said love. I think you gotta. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rambo.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Is he moving?
Go ahead.
He
said go ahead.
I said go ahead, bro.
If he ain't froze, I think we gotta know our love language, because when we talking about like building, being in relationships, and understanding and loving, you really got to know your love language, because then that's where you can time in. See, he know what's good for him. He understands what he need. Like he said, I need communication. That's, you know what I'm saying. And some people, like, so my love language is touch. So you got to touch me. You don't touch me, I think you doing something. I think you was doing something. Now I'm not gonna be insecure, but from the time of us in that intimate state of place, I know how you touching me. I know how you moving. So when you stop that, oh, oh my God, it's a problem. It got to be a problem because I've already been in line and I'm in tune with how you moving. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost kind of like knowing your pet peeves. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what these women is just different from me, bro. I just understand women in a different way because I know what I want. You know what I'm saying? And me knowing what I want, I already if she, bro. My sister told me this, bro. I promise you. I promise you. My sister told me that. She said, touch her. Because I was asking about this lady one time. I'm like, man, shit, we used to get it on. She said, if she said, go over there. She said, if you at her house and you just tell her what you want to do, touch her. If she ain't moving on that, you leave. If you want to go over there, you want some head or you want some cat, and she ain't for that, go. That alone let me know to know it's okay to like. I heard Jen say sometimes you just gotta tell them. You just gotta say, "Hey, this is what I want. This is that. This is all. This I don't need you to talk. But this is what I want, right?" So just knowing what you want in that building of that relationship, then you gonna know. Okay, well, she ain't really for me, or he really for me. Like you kind of get what I'm saying. Like I know exactly what you're saying because you need that. A lot of some people need certain confirmations or like certain affirmations to let it know like okay it's cool because I thought this person might have been on something but they ain't really on nothing. So conversation is good, but I don't really like too much conversation because for me conversation means like it's a whole lot of finessing. Like let's just do it. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just do it. If we
That was a good
I
comment.
think it, I think it's different stroke for different folks because I mean it just all depends on where you at in life. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to a certain point or certain, you know what I'm saying, success bracket, you get to a lot of shit changes for you. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess because more of mine would be more of a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we mentally stimulate each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, because like physical, I mean, the touch is cool. You know what I'm saying? Communicating. You know what I'm saying? That. I guess that all falls into mentally building because once again, we still got to be able to build and become, you know what I'm saying, and have everything we possibly want, you know what I'm saying? So, and once we get the mind and we can, you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like it's just, yeah, like
Your body will
it's no
follow.
limit. There's no limit once you mentally stimulate each other. Like, you
Proves the
can,
body.
uh,
I said
oh
the
yeah, that's
mind
what I'm
before the
saying.
body is ready to
You
come.
know what I'm saying? So once y'all mentally stimulated and locked in, everything else falls in place. You know what I'm saying? Because you go back to when I walk in and I see you, I know how you feeling because I know how you should be acting. You know what I'm saying? Like because now I done built this situation or I built this bond with you where if something off, I know because you're supposed to be my partner in crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're not my partner in crime, then we're wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I always say you got to come clean like a wash machine. You know what I'm saying? Because once you do, once you become clear and honest with yourself, you can always be honest with your partner. You know what I'm saying? But when you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? So
I
it's
agree. I agree with you.
it's
This is why I tell everybody, anybody that I become friends with, that I talk to, as far as female, anything like that, I always say I keep it 1,000. A lot of people say I keep it 100. Da da da. Nah, keep it 1,000. Like, be honest. Tell everything. Don't try to hide anything, because my mom, my grandmother, they always told me whatever's done in the dark don't come to light, regardless, no matter what it is. It may not be revealed the next day. It may not be revealed next month. It may not be revealed next year. But at some point in your life, it's gonna get revealed, and you're gonna be sitting there with like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that a year ago. So that's why I always tell people, like, it takes too much time to do all that back and forth, all that stuff, trying to put on facade, trying to do all that. And what Tag was saying, you gotta know what you want. What Face was saying, you gotta know what you want. You gotta know who you are. And that's, sadly, this is going back to what a question you asked earlier with the new generation, electronics or social media and stuff like that. A lot of the kids, they don't use college now to find themselves. If you are able to go to college, they go to college now to basically start making money straight off of it if they are not doing it outside of sports and things like that. A lot of the kids now, they don't do that. They don't do that to go and find themselves. They don't do that to find out who they really are. They only stuck in the stigmatism of, I gotta make money, and that's what's gonna make me happy. That's not gonna make everybody happy. That's money. Money is necessary, but money is it's nothing. It is what it is. It is what you see at face value. It's your learning who you are, learning who you want to be, learning where you want to be in life, who you're wanting to be, taking things that you learn from people that taught you growing up, and applying those in real life situations, and then progressing forward. And then you take those things into a relationship, whether it be friendships or even possibly a relationship with a female or a male. Like,
It's
it,
adulthood. I'm taking
yeah,
mine into adulthood.
and now these days, you know what it is. It's children raising children, because they ain't learned nothing. They ain't learned nothing. They out here being rude and unruly. Don't care. Don't they? Oh, it's me. It's about me. What do I
We're
get?
teaching people, as much as social media was made to connect people, it actually separates us. Think about
Yeah,
it. All your social media is all about me, 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 me.
You think so?
But for sure.
there's
The
good
thing that
parts
we
in
I
it.
don't
built to
think
connect
so.
us all
There's
is
good
actually
parts in
separate
it.
us the most. Yes, by all means, yes.
I think
Um,
to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no.
I was
I was agreeing
I was
with you.
gonna
I
say
was saying, yeah.
I think social media has you right, Jen, but I think social media has have helped a lot of people. Think of all the introverts. Think of all the people
for
who had low
sure.
self esteem. Think of all the people who never really want to
But
be photogenic. All these people they tapping in now, and everybody want
what?
to be feel like like
I I agree
social
with
media
that.
used to be bad. People used to be scared of social media. Like, oh, get off live, you're gonna get killed. Now everybody's trying to go live. They heard, oh, you can make a
Bro,
few dollars on live. Go live.
you know, it's funny you said that. This is real
That's
quick.
really help us a little
It's
bit.
funny you said that, because I actually know a person that physically lives at where I live at. They're a big YouTube star, but they
Mm-hmm.
introverts. They don't like the
Yeah,
spotlight. They go to these events to
yeah,
get paid, and because of the type of
mm-hmm.
personality that they truly have, but they can't
They get
show
paid.
it. But they found a way to show it through video. Boom.
Ooh,
So
So
it's.
I I hear what y'all saying,
Hmm.
right? But I have to disagree. And the
Okay.
reason why I have to disagree to a certain extent is because what social media has created is what is now being manifested into what they will at one point in time, or what is now created into the meta. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is
Matter of fact.
people, like when you talk about the shy people, you talk about the introverts, you talk about the extroverts, or whatever the case may be.
Uh,
Introverts who are on social media, or I'm not going to say all, but a vast majority of them are hiding behind the image that they can portray on social media.
Yeah,
you look at so many people who look like they got a bag, look like their life is enjoyable, look like they're doing a lot of nice things, but somewhere inside they're broken.
Yeah.
And what social media has done for them is create a place to feel whole.
Mm-hmm.
What I often tell people who are struggling, trying to figure it out, because again, I'm an introvert. I don't really like social media. But what I've done for me is I've dated myself. I tell anybody who is looking to find them, date yourself. Be okay with traveling somewhere by yourself. Be okay with doing things alone, because only in those moments do you really find whether or not the things that you're doing, if you really enjoy them. For example, us being African Americans, we look at what a lot of Caucasians, Spanish, whatever, we look at these different cultures and we say, oh no, that's a them thing. Bro, I went snowboarding one time and I loved it.
Facts.
Skydiving, loved it. What most
Facts.
people, if you was with your group of black friends, they'd be like, "Yeah, well, that's some white people." No,
Exactly.
bro,
I hate
it's
that.
something that I find enjoyable. It's something that makes me feel like I'm at peace. That I know who I am. I know what things I desire, and you only find those things when you take out time for yourself. When you're so busy trying to find the right image for social media, find the right algorithm to get a YouTube video to the masses, you're more so concerned with people thinking if you're in the know, people thinking if you're attractive, people thinking if you're the hot ticket right now, if you're somebody of importance. And it's like, I get what y'all saying when it comes to the social media thing and what it does for some people, but here's something I heard a while ago and I think is very true. 85% of the world are followers.
True.
10% of the world lead. The other 5% watch, observe. And the 9 times out of 10, those are the people in the background who you see moving throughout life every day, and they're probably the most happiest people in the world.
So, before I was trying to say the thing that also brings us closest together, also separates us, because so many people see what they want to see and take from it, and a lot of it's a facade. A lot of it's a facade what you want people to see. But I'm gonna say that non-physical is more important, most definitely, because that's how you really get to know the core of the person. But I'm also gonna
What's
say
your love?
this.
What's your love language?
Hold on. What's my love language?
Yeah.
And I was gonna get there.
Okay.
My love language is actually words of affirmation and quality time. Those are my top 2. Always has been every time I've taken the test. And for me, I'm gonna tell you, especially in my last relationship, words of affirmation was the biggest thing for me that it was like kept from me, like purposefully. And that's something that honestly weighed on me probably the most throughout the whole relationship. It's something so simple as to hear the words, "You're fucking beautiful." I long to hear those words so much. Like, dang, can I just, like, I would try everything. I would put on makeup. I would put on lingerie. I would do my hair different. I would do my makeup. I would, like, just all these things just to hear those words. And if you do not notice those things about your partner, or you might notice and you might utilize those things, but those are things why I think that non-physical is more important. But also, don't dismiss physical intimacy either, because it is still important. Because like he said, that's his love language. So that's kind of where I was going to get to go. But y'all, Lord have mercy, we have one more freaking question.
Let's get it. Let's
I
get
love
it.
this though, because I'm gonna
Right.
tell you, it normally is hard to get men to talk. It is hard to get men to talk, and honestly, how it worked out probably is exactly what we needed to hear from men, especially talking about intimacy, because it's something that we don't get to hear from you guys very often, because it is something that hard to have men open up and express those type things. So I applaud y'all for being open and speaking on this topic. But if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. I didn't say it with such enthusiasm, Laura, but we just discussed what is intimacy to you, how do you maintain intimacy and connection in digital age, the benefits of non-physical intimacy. But then I want to know about emotion. Intimacy, something specific. My bad. I'm trying to go ahead. Non-physical intimacy goes beyond physical touch and includes emotional connection, communication, and understanding. It is about feeling a deep connection with someone on a mental and spiritual level. In terms of trying new things that are non-intimate, Lord, that was my friend. It can be exciting and adventurous to explore new hobbies, activities, or experience together. This can help enhance the bond between partners and create lasting memories. By being open to try new things, both individuals can grow individually and as a couple, strengthening their relationship in the process. So the last question is there something non-physically intimate that you've always